It's David. Welcome back to Gem Mint MTG. So every now and then something just makes me stop and go, what the is going on in this market? This market is totally crazy. Ever since the launch of Magic 30th edition, we've seen a lot of volatility in the market, particularly for revised cards. So I was actually putting together some data for the next episode of the graded market review, which will be coming out soon. But I got to a card that I was like, this can't be right. But it is. So revised has been crashing. A lot of the vintage market has been soft. And then I came across the sale of a revised Sarah Angel that sold for $279. Okay? It's a 9.5 BGS 9.5 Sarah Angel. It sold for $279. It was not a quad. It was not a quad plus or anything like that. This is not an unlimited card. This is just a regular revised Sarah Angel, a 9.5 condition that sold for $279. Sarah Angel is only worth a couple dollars. So the math on this is absolutely crazy. If you want to buy a revised Sarah Angel, you can literally get one for a couple dollars. If you want a near mint one, maybe pay $3, $4, $5. I mean, the math on this is absolutely crazy. Sarah Angel is not even a rare card in revised. It's an uncommon. This is a astronomical price, and it just goes to show you that a couple things. It made me think of a couple things. For vintage Magic, the reserved list means less and less the further back you go. And the iconic cards, the truly iconic cards, the Sarah Angels, the Siobhan Dragons, the Lightning Bolts, stuff like that, those cards in 9.5 condition can sell for an absolute ton of money, even when they're from revised. There was that one revised Siobhan Dragon in 9.5 condition that sold for over $300. Now you've got a Sarah Angel selling for almost $300. I've seen Lightning Bolts go for hundreds of dollars from revised. And it's just cool to see. I just kind of wanted to put this out there, that's kind of throw it out there that there's still some really good strength in this market, particularly for iconic vintage staples in high grade. And another thing that it made me think about is overall in the marketplace post Magic 30th announcement, a lot of stuff has been soft, but high grade vintage cards have been very, very strong across the board. Even dual lands, even revised dual lands, even the Wheels of Fortune, we're not seeing that drop off that we're seeing in the raw cards, which I think is great. That's one of the things that I mentioned in the last video, one of the things that I think could be a consequence of Magic 30th is people getting more and more interested and appreciating graded cards. It's something we talk about on this channel all the time. That's what this channel primarily focuses on, is the graded side of collecting. And I feel like Magic 30th could create a boon for graded Magic the Gathering collectors, because it's just going to make people appreciate the original printings of cards. And the fact that the market is completely collector driven and there's no player driven aspect to the graded card market is something that I think is really positive, in the wake of all this stuff that's happening right now. So, I think that one of the things that people are going to have to start thinking about, that especially, people who have big collections, people who want to get into collecting, vintage Magic cards, is there's going to come a time where, you have to think about, am I going to invest more and more into raw cards, played condition cards that are just never going to hold their value like they used to? That time of 2020, 2021 free tendies is over. Everybody knows that. But there's still a ton of people who really like to collect vintage Magic the Gathering cards, reserved list Magic the Gathering cards. And, graded collecting is one of those things that seems to be shielded from the fallout of Magic the Gathering 30th edition. Prices have been dropping dramatically all across the board, particularly for revised cards. But I'm still tracking the market on graded cards, and the softness just hasn't been there. So if you're somebody who, likes collecting vintage or reserve list Magic the Gathering cards, and you haven't really got into grading yet, I think that one of the things that's going to, be fallout from this 30th anniversary edition is people just wanting to get into something that is completely outside of Wizards and that is completely collector driven. And Graded Cards does that. It's a great community, and I think that the fact that it's completely collector driven shields it from a lot of this stuff that's going on. And it's not just limited to the super high end stuff. Like, yes, alpha cards and high-end beta and Arabia Nights, those cards are going to be shielded because those markets are primarily collector driven. But there's just simply not a lot of people who can't afford to get into super high-end graded alpha and beta, but they can get into high grade cards from other sets, from other vintage Magic sets like revised and Mirage, Visions, Weatherlight, Urza Saga. And I think that, as Wizards reprints more and more cards, people are going to be looking for a safe haven of the market that's completely collector driven. And the graded market provides that. So it's something that I'm really positive about with all this stuff that's going on. I really hope that the graded market continues to grow. The Facebook groups are continuing to grow. If you haven't already checked out the graded Magic the Gathering Facebook groups, check them out. There's links to them in the description of all of my videos. I highly recommend you check them out. We're up to thousands of people in those communities. So check them out. Continue to check those places out. It's a great community where you can find a lot of information, cool collections, people buying and selling, all that kind of stuff. Anyway, really cool sale. Sarah Angel, almost $300 for a revised Sarah Angel. There's a lot of money to be made in the vintage market, particularly with graded cards. So if you're one of those people that likes to dig around for raws and you want to find opportunities to make money or build a really valuable collection, I think that hunting through vintage sets, finding those iconic cards in really good condition that are still raw and grading them, there's still a tremendous opportunity to do that. So thought I'd put out a positive message with some crazy stuff here today. So anyway, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you. If you're not a subscriber here on Gem Mint MTG, hit that subscribe button and join in the fun, because we're going to be talking about this kind of stuff all the time here. All right, till next time, have a great one.